everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to segment 2 of the Rave Daddy Ready VIP podcast. Joining me today is Chris King and Jeremy, which I know him as Rave King or Wook, but how are you guys doing today?
Hey man, doing well, doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Awesome. It's great to have you both on. I think there's a lot of awesome things for us to talk about today. And I was just introducing you, Jeremy. What is your last name officially?
It's Del Val. I say Del Val. It's actually Del Valle. Not many people can say it though. So, I get the Del Valle, I get Del Val, I get Del Valley,
Nice.
So I just simple it. You make it simple for everybody. It's just Del Val.
Love the shirt. When we met, was at a DJ competition getting ready for a spot for Gold Rush for the DJs. And you were vibing out in the crowd. You had the Wook hat on, and you just had like
Yes,
mad
sir.
energy. And I was like, let me give you a rave stone and let's talk. And instantly there was just like a great connection. Then you got connected with Chris over at Rave Daddy. He was like, this is the perfect person to bring on as a beta tester. And now you've had the opportunity to like get connected to the app and see what that's about. And so that's why we wanted to bring you on today for this podcast, was to talk to you a little bit about your experience with being able to play with the beta test with Rave Daddy, which is about to go live here soon on the App Store, and also hear a little bit about what you do over at Relentless Beats, because you're a music guy too.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I want to thank you guys for bringing me on. It was awesome. Loved meeting you at the DJ comp. That was we spoke about before. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
All the DJs threw down. It was definitely a night to remember. Um, and yeah, like you got to see me, full Pharaoh mode, man. I was all over that night, everywhere. I was ping ponging around the whole place. Um, it was a lot of fun, and I like I told Chris, I love the opportunity of being able to be a beta tester. Um, this is something that I feel that should have been out for a long time.
Mm.
Luckily, we got our hands on it first. Um, but yeah, I think it's great. It's not an app that needs to strictly be stuck in the rave community. I've found uses for it all over, everyday life, hanging out with friends or work wise. Like and since you guys have brought me on, I've done nothing but speak about it and
Yeah.
tell everybody about it, from work to the street to, you know,
Heck yeah.
Well, yeah, thank
wherever
you.
I'm at.
Like, thank you. Like that night, that DJ competition was absolutely amazing, right? Because it was honestly the first night I met Emanuel in person. Keep me honest here, Emanuel, but I'm pretty sure that was the very first night we met in person after even like, hey, talking about podcast and you being our contest winner. And then I kept seeing this guy. Like I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was the only guy I think running around with an LED mask. And because you're special like that, we can get into more about that. But man, like you seem to know everyone. Like I kept telling him, I was like, hey, like, this guy's everywhere. And then out of nowhere, man was like, hey, you really need to meet this guy. Here's what he's all about. Here's his info. And man, like, I appreciate that immensely. We appreciate that immensely. And you've been a hell of an ambassador. And I love it. Like, steal your term from earlier. Like, you're a fantastic hype man. So we appreciate you.
Awesome. So let's turn that around. I know, Chris, you were just talking, but I'm going to point it back at you again a little bit, because we have brought Jeremy on to beta test for the app. What exactly, since this is only episode 2, is Rave Daddy, and what have we been doing in the beta test? What have we been crunching down on, and how does that going to relate to what's coming next?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. So Rave Daddy is a personal safety and security application that was born out of the festival space. And when I talk about the festival space, and we can talk about more and how this relates to what Jeremy does, but people have a great time at these festivals, and these festivals continue to grow year over year. But as these things happen and as you get to these spots, it's sometimes very difficult to, one, keep track of your group, right? Maybe there's now 100,000 people around a few stages or one stage even, and now all you want to do is go to the bathroom, But oh my God, if you separate, you're never going to find your people ever again. So it addresses that problem. But then it goes beyond that. It's really, to Jeremy's point, it's helpful even day to day, right? If you want to connect it to your family and your friends, your coworkers, you can set up groups. You can see where people are on a map if they want you to, and you can just hit SOS to let them know where you are and if you're having a problem. And it cuts through all the noise and all the traffic, and it gets to your friends no matter where they are, even Phoenix to Nigeria, for example, which has been tested in a number of seconds. And so it's just about getting the help you need when you need it. And it's about doing it anonymously. We don't want to know who you are. We actually just have you set up with your phone number, and then we have you choose your rave name, which is just a nickname, right? So kind of fun to see my mom as a beta tester set up her rave name. And then my dad, of course, still just uses standard name. So we'll have to work on that. Comes from, Emanuel, his military background, of course. Like, oh, I am who I am. Like, okay. But we are not here to collect your data. We don't want to know who you are. I'm not here to sell your data, and that's why it's just going to be $3.99 a month. Very inexpensive for the most part. And really, it's that way because, well, again, it's going to work when you need it to. We don't want to know or collect anything about you, and I'm definitely not going to sell anything about you. And so when you go to these events, as you have a good time, as you report having problems, you're anonymous. Like, I can't even tell on the back end that Emmanuel's Emmanuel or Jeremy's Jeremy. So anonymous, get the help when you need it is what it's all about. Being a beta tester is about just having early access. And so what we have now is about 50, gosh, maybe even over 60 at this point, different beta testers that we brought on. And what that means is that they have early access to the app before it's available on the market. So you, Emmanuel, Jeremy, Ben, myself, my folks, friends, other people, right, in the space. We've even connected to some local DJs here in the space. Shout out Veronica and others that were at the DJ competition that night. But it's about having early access, ensuring the application works, right? So whether you're at Cogonino, whether you're at Lost Clans, whether you're here at home in Phoenix or in Tucson or abroad, we're having people test the application to ensure that it really is dialed in before it hits the market.
That's awesome. One of the things that the app reminds me of that I've been seeing a lot when I go to festivals are people's totems, right? They literally are carrying around like staffs with teddy bears and lights and Nintendo 64
Right,
and like
which I love. What
it's
I'm not here to get
awesome.
rid of them.
It's crazy, but imagine if every single person in your group had their own totem that you could see from anywhere, right? Like that's the trick that Rave Daddy pulls off that like you just can't get anywhere else is be able to look at it and say, I know where my group is, they know where I am, and for the most part, like I can pick you out of a crowd. I can find you. Um, Recently, we went to John Summit, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we talk about the festival portion. And we have plenty of pictures that you probably got to see in the first section in our recap. But my wife's friends were work friends who had like decided to go and we're like, hey, we'll meet you there. And we're early to get there, right? We had pictures to take. We met up. We got to trade rave loot and put t-shirts on and all the fun stuff, right? But they got there a lot later than we did. And so by miracle and probably a long time of searching, they found us in the crowd, right? And it was like 5 seconds of, oh my gosh, I can't believe you found us. Because, I'm not particularly tall or anything. It's not like we're easy to spot out of a crowd. And they could have just hopped out of the car, looked at the app and go, I'll see you in 5, right? And that kind of link up an organization is usually handled by somebody, right? There's usually a person whose job is to figure out how to logistically get all your friends together and home safe. And so it handles that as well. It's just like that personal assistant to take all the load off so everybody else can hang out and have a good time. So I want to pass it over to Jeremy because Jeremy, you have had the chance to see festivals up close. You have had the chance to get out and be amongst the crowd and the community. And I would love to hear some of your stories and experiences and how you think as a beta tester, this app might relay back to some of those experiences.
Yeah, I it's actually fun. I get to see we'll use the raceway for example. I get to see the
Mm.
raceway as an empty parking lot, and get to put all the magic together. It's a very unreal feeling of being a part of the team of
Mm.
Relentless Beats. Great, I love it. The build goes up. It's great. Yeah, I operate some of the forklifts, the boom lifts, the scissor lifts. Get to put stuff up, hang them up high. I'm not a fan of heights, so the boom lift isn't really my favorite. The scissor lift is sketchy to say the least. But hey, I'm licensed to drive them, so it's cool. Um, we use radios for the most part, during the builds. So that's like cool and all. But as for Rave Daddy, that would be awesome because, like you said, I know where you are, and throughout the testing, it's pinpoint location.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in a work aspect. That's a big thing too. Hey, where you at? Even if you call me on the radio, where you at? Right here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and how
You
do
know,
you even handle where you're at when it's still just an empty parking lot or a racetrack or whatever it might be, right? Like, I'm over by this piece of dirt.
right, right. And then we have suites. So you might be down at the bottom, setting this up, setting the VIP up, blowing the big silver balls up that you see in the VIP area. You're where you at? Oh, I'm up in the suite, and that is where. So it's like
Yeah.
I've never been inside the raceway other than setting up the shows
Mm.
or parking my car. I've never actually been up inside, so you can't tell me, oh, I'm in suite 5. That's cool.
Right. I mean, this is the place where Gold Rush happens, and then 1 month later, NASCAR comes to town.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
It's very, very different, right? Like a very unique thing.
It's nuts. Having gone to Gold Rush and Decadence and Phoenix Lights and Rez, let's see, who else have I seen at
Just
the
bragging, man.
raceway? Like the raceway gets packed and it's huge. And fortunately, like Relentless Beats does a really good job of like setting up access to restrooms and giving people enough space to like be able to fill in around the stage without having to just absolutely get packed in. And so accessibility, I think, is one of the best things about it. But when you look at things like Decadence and Gold Rush, like how many people are there? Um, it's insane. It's easy to lose people just because like you know, 10 people wearing the same Ganja White Knight t-shirt, and you're like, well, I thought that was my
That's
friend. I followed this guy for 10 minutes, and then I caught up to him, and it wasn't him.
that was I that's one of my experiences. So we this past decade, me and my Ray fam, we did an all white night, and
Nice.
we all had white on, and I got some of the pictures up on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I saw a guy. We got split up because me, my Instagram name and everything, like King Rave. I'm all over. I say what's up to everybody. I'm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm king of side quests, and I lose my people all the time. And I saw a guy wearing the same exact jacket as my best friend, and you know, I ran up on him and I grabbed him, and I'm like, "Bro, what's up?" And the guy looked at me like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing?" I was like, "I am so sorry, bro. Happy New Year." Like, um, so yeah,
It has to be such a growing problem.
good experience.
Like, as the rise of the jersey takes over, right? Like, I mean, how many Millennium jerseys do you see at a single show
Mm.
now? And you're like, ooh, is that
Yeah,
your buddy? Maybe. Let's hope so. See how it goes. Otherwise, new buddy, new friend.
that's it. You know,
Definitely. So in experiences like Decadence, some of the best nights, best memories are born, right? And we love to talk about that here on Ready VIP. We love to talk about the experience because I think a lot of people who are watching this, they might not have the same experience as a DJ. They might not have the same experience as somebody who gets to go in early access and set up the raceway. But a lot of people are going to have that same festival experience, good or bad. And so, um, from both of you, and we'll start with Chris, I would love to hear one really good festival experience that you haven't talked about already. Now you're gonna
Ooh.
have to have lots of these. And
Yeah, well, yeah.
I want you to cap it off with one experience that could have been better with
Ooh.
Rave Daddy.
Ooh. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the amazing experience. And I am going to have to go ahead and reference the most recent experience because, frankly, like it was born out of this Rave Daddy experience overall. And like it was fresh and came out of the local scene and it came actually out of the DJ competition, even where you met Wook. And now we're here having this interview, conversation, really. But I filmed a lot of content that night at the DJ competition. We filmed a lot of content. We posted it from the Rave Daddy handle on our Instagram page, and we tagged a bunch of the DJs, right? Everybody we recorded, and followed up, and met some fantastic people, had some great conversations, and ended up getting connected to one of them by the name of Ramrod. His real name's Adrian.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, you guys
Ramrod.
remember Ramrod? You guys know Ramrod? Jeremy,
Ramrod
have you met him
slayed at that
before?
competition. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
actually talked to him after the competition as well.
Oh, very good. That's awesome. Well, he is fantastic. Like he had learned that Ben wasn't able to go see the Shack Bass All Star show in Tucson with me. And so because of that, we had an extra ticket and he invited me down. He invited me to collab with him on giving that ticket away at a pre-show he was hosting at a bar called the Golden Nugget, I believe, in Tucson. And I met a bunch of his rave fam and watched his show and gave away the ticket and met a bunch of great people there. And then like we just hung out for the entire evening. I met, his buddy Jalen down there, connected with them for the evening, saw Shaq perform, which like, I mean, come on, like half the people I talked to, including like adults and children, like Shaq, you mean the guy from the NBA, the guy who plays basketball? He doesn't DJ. Like, yeah, he does. DJ Diesel. DJ Diesel's awesome. But going down there, first of all, to Tucson, where I had never been. I've been here in Arizona over 2 years now, and have not driven that far south with intent or intention, I should say. And so to go down there, right, based on that local relationship, having Ramrod put me up at a local hotel there that he performs at, and shout out to the Leo Kent because fantastic place, like really, really nice place. A fantastic place to come back and relax to after a very long day of driving and hanging out and having a great time and going to a show all night long. But they treated me very, very well, and all thanks to like Ramrod and his relationship with him there. But just having that experience overall, meeting everybody there, going to all those new places, like that is exactly what this entire thing is all about. Like meeting everybody, right? Very organic relationship building and just getting the word out, talking about things. And hey, how's this weird app called Rave Daddy that you would never ever think is a personal safety and security app? How could it be used and how is it beneficial? And then, sure, it starts with, this festival scene, but to see where everybody takes it kind of on their own, just it blows my mind every single time. So that was my most recent amazing experience. And if I have to think of something that could have gone better, I guess a long time ago, gosh, um, well, I guess let's be real. If I had the app when I went to Shack Base All Stars, right? I mean, we were testing it. Unfortunately, I wasn't with a large beta tester group at the time, but I was with, I was connected to Ben. If I was able to though to have the app and give it to Adrian and all of his friends and have Jalen connected to me, who I was hanging out with for the evening in the app, well, probably wouldn't have had to practically hold hands as we went to the porta potty. So, that
Rave
getting
train
separate
coming
idea
through.
is very
Whoop
real.
whoop.
Yeah. And then also like Shack Base All Stars was hosted at a place called the Slaughterhouse. And if you look up the Slaughterhouse in Tucson, what you're gonna see is like, hey, it's mostly just a haunted house horror show, kind of a Halloween event experience. right after Shaq leaves. And so it's just a big old dirt lot with all sorts of different things going on. And so again, having the option to see where my group is, that could have been very useful.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like an amazing experience getting to link up with Ramrod and giving away that ticket. Shout out to the lucky winner who got to go. Like, lots of amazing in that experience. Now let's pass it over to Jeremy.
Oh, my favorite festival experience. That's a rough one. That's tough. It's a little tough. Um, I would say my favorite festival experience would be this past Decadence. It was 150,000 plus people. Uh, that would have been an amazing place to have Rave Daddy.
Mm.
I'm sorry, 1 year too late.
It's I'll tell you right now, I think this year's Decadence is going to be just as insane.
Oh, I can't
That
wait.
was definitely one of my favorite festival experiences. The whole rave fam at that point had come together. You
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody, all close friends had already, were out there. Each one of us likes a different genre, so it was ping ponging for different stages all night.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure we see all our favorite DJs. And me, my golden retriever energy, I just zip off everywhere.
Yes.
Uh, I get lost. Plus, I don't know how long side quests really go for the normal person, but my side quest might be like whole step. I would have loved to have Rave Daddy at Decadence. There was 150,000 plus people that last year. Um,
Dang.
yeah, we want to have more. But with that being said, and the way I'm walk off, I'm like a 5-year-old grown man. You can't take your eyes off me for a second, I'll disappear. But with that many people, you know, by stages, walking around, getting lost, having Rave Daddy would have been amazing. It does give your pinpoint location, and that's big for me. Um, Plus, with the whole Rave fam, we got girls in our Rave fam, and we do all get separated. So it would have been a great thing to have then, but we're right there, and we're right. We're gonna have it real soon.
So what was your favorite part of Decadence? Because I was there both days and it was incredible.
Ah, okay. So my favorite part of Decadence was actually being on stage with Alley Cat.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
that was, or was that Phoenix
I
Lights?
was
I
gonna
might
say
have
that
got that
Phoenix
confused.
Lights, I saw her
That
at
was
Phoenix
Phoenix
Lights.
Lights. That was Phoenix Lights. Decadence, we went on stage with was it John Summit? No, not John. Chris Lake.
Nice.
Yeah, that was definitely like the highlight of my night, being on stage, seeing it from a different point of view.
Nice. Yeah, that sea of people. Um,
Oh yeah.
I talked a little bit about my Decadence Day One experience on our first episode because I was like, we had John Summit to Steve Aoki to Subtronics, and that lineup was just incredible. And I was like, I can't leave because I don't want to go pee and lose my crowd or my spot or my group. And so I was talking about how amazing that would have been. Day two, though, was like it was like a side quest for an entire day. Right. So my partner and I, we had gone to day two by ourselves. We didn't necessarily know anybody. We had heard some other of our friends were going, but a bunch of our family from day one just went to day one and had such a great time. They were like, I'm literally spent. Like, I'm gonna spend New Year's sleeping. And so New Year's Eve, we had VIP passes because we had won them through a contest, and we're like, going to the bead making stations and walking around back. But we made our way to the loft for Black Tiger Sex Machine, Slander, Illenium, right? And that was like the up to midnight lineup. And we had a great vantage, right? From the VIP balconies, you could see the entire sea of just an insane amount of people. And then we had made our way to the front of it just in time for New Year's when the countdown finishes on the big screen and Slander does the countdown. Balloons and confetti dropped from the ceiling, and it was like Times Square on New Year's, man. It was just magic, right? And the whole crowd, like all, 150,000 people just explode, right? In that
Same.
moment, and just the energy was undeniably tangible. It was something that you knew you were in that moment, you were living life on the edge at the fullest, doing the thing. And that's really the festival experience. It's like, it's the people, it's the music, but it's also just this feeling, that energy you get, that like feeling alive when you're just part of something so big and so moving and so powerful. Um, but one of my least, I wouldn't say least favorite experiences, but one of my more recent experiences was when we went, Chris, Ben, and I went to John Summit, and it was hot, right? And the flamethrowers, you could feel the heat in the crowd. John Summit had to have just been
Oh,
roasting in the, like,
those were ridiculous.
they were insane. They were like 150-foot flamethrowers, like damn Phoenix wings. And people were passing out in the crowd regularly. Like 15 minutes in, we saw a girl go down, and people are like, does she need Narcan? Like, is she okay? They're like, whole group opens up. The spotlight camera looks at the circle in the crowd because they know what's going on. And it was just heat exhaustion, right? And like they helped her stand up,
Yeah.
and she was like, I'm just dehydrated, and she was small, and like she just lost her bearings, lost her, locked out her knees too long. And that happened half a dozen times throughout the night. And having an SOS feature that allowed people to get to medical emergencies would have been great, because I was standing right there, and instead of yelling medic, I can just hit the SOS, and they're gonna ping and see, oh, hey, they're in the crowd, somebody needs medical attention. Um, and so that's, when we talk about casting the vision, that's the potential I see in it. Having been to a lot of these things and know what Arizona heat is like, and know that there are lots of other places, whether it be the humidity or the cold or the environment, just gets to people. You don't have to be lucid on anything to just go down and not be having the best night of your life. And so I look forward to a time when, whether it be people in the crowd being able to use it, or services rendered through festivals, or if it's just, hey, the rest of my group needs to come to me now so I can pick up my friend and we can get them out of the crowd, those kind of things need to be available. And so that's my, like, New Year's Eve at the peak, but then seeing people need help at the Valley.
Yeah, no, and that's what it's all
Yeah.
about, right? And like Jeremy and I have talked about that. And in addition to his job, right, Jeremy works kind of security components, if you want to talk about that. But like the idea of like, hey, we need a bunch of help, right? Stirs up a bunch of chaos, and it doesn't make the responder's job any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes the job a lot harder, especially in situations like we said, Decadence, 150K. You know, uh, John Summit. John Summit was 100. No, John Summit was 15K,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was an extra 150 extra. Like, and like you said, the flames, those did not help. I wasn't luckily, for John Summit, I was on the build for that one, so I got to actually get to kick back and enjoy the show. um yeah, man, I felt those flames all the way from the VIP area. It
I
was
love the
it was they
flamethrowers.
were they were intense.
That clamshell, whatever it was, that has to be one of my favorite stages I've ever seen.
Really
Like
cool.
I've seen a lot of really cool stages, and big screens are great. Flamethrowers and fireworks are awesome. You know, the pressure guns are great, but that giant diamond triangle light structure that he
A
has,
UFO.
yeah, it's next level. It's Vegas level
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. I was just about. I was like, that's Vegas level experience right there. Like it was definitely a fun stage. One of I want to say it's one of the that'll definitely be a stage that stays in my head for a while.
Did
Yeah.
you have a hand in helping put that together?
The stage very little on that one. I did more of the inside. I was inside doing the VIP setup. You know, the swings, the hammocks. Like if you went into the VIP area, my best friend and
Yeah.
I, we did the swings and hammocks right there.
That's cool.
Those
Which
hammocks are
is
great.
actually yeah, man. I was a little, I was happy with him, but I was a little upset with him because when him and I set them up the night before, we had them set up strategically to where whoever was sitting on either corner, they weren't going to block each other's view
Mm.
of the
Smart.
stage. Then the next day comes and it's like, wait, where are the hammocks and swings? They're like, oh, it's on the inside of the VIP. I was like, well, that defeated the purpose of what we did. But
Yeah.
it still ended up awesome,
There
and
you go.
everyone loved it.
Yeah.
That kind of
All right.
happened at Millennium. Like, you know, the hammocks were on the inside, on the other side of the bleachers, but they were still super cool because there were plenty of people camping out on them.
Yeah. I
uh,
remember.
I didn't.
I was just gonna say, I remember looking over that night when we were at John Summit, and VIP looking like an amazing experience and good time. But what really stands out is like, God dang it, that's where the good tacos are. Like the taco truck was over behind VIP. Like,
It
someday
was. It
have a
was.
pass.
Half the reason to get the the good tickets.
That's it.
um, I didn't get to. I can't say I didn't get to experience Millennium because I was there, but
Mm-hmm.
I was on the security side.
Mm.
Yeah, you have a job to do.
Yeah, I mean, I was headbanging half the night, but yeah, I was doing my job.
Yeah,
Millennium was
fun.
awesome. Bonnie and Clyde cranked at, and then Millennium, like, what a great ticket.
Mamba,
I'm very sad.
he,
Mamba too, yes.
yeah.
I saw your backstage Mamba picture too, where you had the jersey on,
Oh yeah, yeah. I got me a Mamba jersey. It was actually pretty cool.
signed.
He signed it for me.
Yeah,
That's
super
sick.
cool. Well, it sounds like we've had a chance to talk about the app and our experiences and a little bit more of how it would relate. And I think that was a lot of why we wanted to bring Jeremy on today, was to talk about it from the experience and end user, what people can expect, both in some of our experiences that they might be able to relate to, but also at home, if they're thinking of experiences where they might have been able to use the app. That's exactly what we wanted to do, is give you the opportunity to come down this rabbit hole with us, you know, to take the thought experiment and go, have ever had an experience where this festival app would have brought me and my friends together? Would it have helped somebody be safe? Is there somebody I don't even know that it could have helped? Right. And so thank you for coming on that thought journey with us. Jeremy, thank you for coming on Ready VIP with us. Chris, thank you for making Rave Daddy possible. Um, I'd like to give you the opportunity for parting shots. Is there anybody you want to give shout outs to, Jeremy? Is there anything that you want to say that you didn't get a chance to say? Now is an opportunity to say it. The platform is yours.
Yeah, sure. I've always wanted, like, this is actually cool that I get to say this, and I never thought I would actually have this opportunity. The whole rave thing came about for me because of my best friend Travis Smith, Daddy
Awesome.
Gusto, or AKA Daddy Gusto. He's one of the testers actually. And this all started because of him. This October, 3 years ago, or will be 3 years ago, that he brought me to my first Gold Rush. So I would say that's my
Awesome.
that's my first big rave.
That's the
I've
hook.
always been into EDM, but on the East Coast, they don't really have, Gold Rush, Phoenix
Mm,
Lights, Decadence. It's not really like that over there. Um, So he brought me to my first Gold Rush, and that infamous mask that I always wear to every show. That was a birthday gift. That
Nice.
was a birthday gift for my best friend. So, and I just dove in from there, and it grew. You know, started working with Relentless with him, and it, you know, it's the mask became infamous, and I got love that dude. Big shout out, Travis, Daddy Gusto, love you, man. Um,
Heck yeah.
None of
Shout
this
out the
would have been
rest of your rave
possible.
family. That's great. Like those are the experiences, man. That's what festivals and music is all about, right? Bringing people together, having those friendships.
Yeah, CJ, he's my other Ray fam guy. He's the one that got me and Travis the job with Relentless. So that's a big shout out for him. You know, those we're a tripod. Those are my boys right there.
Nice.
It's they're I love them like family, you know. So I definitely got to give both those guys a shout out. They've been there for me some dark times and got me out of those times. So that's thank you for letting me shout them out on that.
Definitely. So we're gonna end this with a little laugh, a little fun, something that I think everybody likes to do and likes to talk about, and I'm sure you will as well. And I'm gonna put you on the spot here. The magic of editing is I can shorten it down to where it seems like you didn't have to think about it for very long. I want you to give me your top 5 DJs right now.
Ooh, okay. I love this. So I will say this: Subtronics.
Yes!
He's my number one. I don't know if you guys know that song Opus.
Oh yeah,
Um, I actually have that as a decal on my car.
amazing.
So, yeah, so Subtronics, Ganja White Knight,
Yes,
Sed's Vortex,
awesome.
Pretty Hard,
Okay, okay. That's the top
and
4.
Perry Wayne.
Dang, that's a stacked 5. All right. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Heck yeah. I love me some Subtronics. I was just talking about how much I love Interface Wheel last night. Michio Kaku's quote in there about M theory and vibrating strings and membranes. I'm just like, man, like EDM has gotten to such a great place, right? Like dubstep is
it
amazing.
has, it has. I love it.
All right, Chris, same question. Top 5 DJs. Now you've had the chance to see some more live recently, and I'm wondering if that shifts your perspective at all.
You know what? I think it did. So I'll let you in on a secret. When I drove all the way down to Tucson all by myself, all like about 2 hours with a little bit of traffic from Phoenix, I bumped good old Gorilla T the entire way. And
Nice.
Gorilla T and I vibed and had a great time. It was a good drive, but like, and then of course, like, went to Adrian's pregame show, and then arrived at Shaq Space All Stars just in time to watch Gorilla T kind of wrap up and play a set and have a great time. So I think that definitely has to be first on the list, honestly. From
Nice.
there, LS Dream was
Heck
also
yeah.
recently seen, so absolutely, on the list.
Hey,
Let's see, we can go with James Hype next. James Hype and I have been getting down, having a good time. Exchanged a few notes on good old Instagram. I'm really, really hoping I win his trip to Ibiza, as normal people say, non-fancy folk, to go and hang out, have a great time, but also like, hey, with his new jam, 7 seconds, like, hey, I bet you I can get an SOS out from Ibiza all the way out to Phoenix in 7 seconds or less.
Nice.
Do it. Come on, James. So that's been good. Jake Shore, like I think Jake Shore is out of the Chicago area. Jake
Mm,
Shore has put out some new hits, and trying to really like revive the scene out of that area, and is throwing like a rooftop style kind of house party coming up soon. So really been into what he's been putting out. And then gosh,
number 5.
last, I know.
I'm no DJ Diesel. You just saw him just
I
crush the
know. Well, that's
house.
the thing, right? So, okay.
Give him the
So,
boom
like, you love
shakalaka.
me, DJ Diesel, because I just saw him, and let's be real, he's a massive human being. Like, there were people on stage with DJ Diesel, and Ben and I are like, huh, wow, it kind of looks like he has children up there with him, but like, you can't have children here. Like, we're keeping up event, and it's the middle of the night. Like, what are you doing? Turns out it was the University of Arizona basketball team. And like, I'm so sorry, guys, you're definitely taller than me, but like, next to Shaq, we all look like children. Uh, so yeah, like shout out to DJ Diesel. Right. Like, I mean, honestly, if the man would have held me as a baby in my branded shirt, like this says Rave Daddy, I would have been so happy, but it didn't happen. Maybe next time. So for that
Amazing.
reason, he's not on the list. I'm just kidding. No, between DJ Diesel and John Summit, because that's who I
Mm,
recently saw as well, and then Alice in Wonderland, who I know Ben and his wife
yes.
fans of, and they plan to go see again at Red Rocks, and they're gonna meet with another beta tester by the name of Addie. Hi, Addie, if you're watching or listening. While they're there, so I think between all of those, that's the 5, 6, or maybe even 7 on the list.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love me some Alice in Wonderland. Saw her at Gold Rush last year. Just incredible. One of my favorite moments at any, probably it might be like top when we were like listing things off of our favorite, in my top 2 or 3 favorite experiences at festivals of all time, right?
Really.
She was just killing her set, and then she kills the music for a second, and she says, "Hey, all these bookers and VIP are up here just sitting in couches. I'm gonna say this. Why don't you rush the
Yeah.
VIP?" And then she just cranks the music back on, and everybody goes, "Ah!" And everybody in VIP turned around and went, "Whoa!" And like nobody rushed the VIP, of course, but it was that whole experience. The moment you're like, "Oh, we're alive now," right? Like that was just incredible. Um, I would put Subtronics at the top of that list too, man, because like I think where he is in playing with tones and downshifts and tempos and things, he's doing things that are at the cutting edge, and he does them really well. It's very well produced. It's just
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of his music is the way a composer might look at EDM from now, right? Like there, he pulls in everything. He has this whole orchestra of sounds to play with, and just does an amazing job. Um, I would probably put Grizz at the top of that list too. Grizz's vibe and ability to bring in lots of different sounds and music, the horns he plays, and he has such a wide variety of style. I would put Grizz up there in the top. I would say personal favorite, somebody that I think is kind of an underdog, even in some regards when you compare him to like huge successes like Subtronics. But Enzo is a DJ that I just vibe with.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of great stuff that is just on top of already good music. He's using Orson Welles quotes, and he's, like making you think about meditation and breathing, and he's, putting life and perspective in his music, and I just love Enzo. Like I'm gonna see him at Gold Rush coming up, and he's got a back to back, and I'm gonna go nuts. Um,
The Gorillas lineup is insane.
yeah, Gold Rush's lineup is insane. Um, so after that, Nightmare, Nightmare and I would say that like Marshmello are probably tied for like the 4 spot. Um, Seeing Marshmello live was bananas. Seeing Nightmare live was bananas. I saw him back to back. That was bananas. Like, I really vibe with the range of their music, with the tonality that they use, with a lot of the diversity in their sounds. And they just like if you look at my playlist, and when I go through and I have like 45 hours, for almost 46 hours of music in one of my playlists, when I play it, those are the songs I'm not skipping. Like they just come on and are consistently good. And so that's a vibe all by itself. When you're like, man, no matter how many times this comes on, I'm gonna listen, right? And so the consistency in that. And then I
I'm
would
gonna be
say,
pretty sad if I could stop you. If
go
that
ahead.
playlist is not called Banana Split or something bananas after the banana references. Like, ooh.
Bananas. It's called EDM Caviar. Anybody
Ooh.
who wants that, I can send out the link. It's just every song from every DJ from the like cherry picked from their albums and their EPs and their releases that I find that I just resonate with. And so it's couple thousand songs of just pure gold. I'll send you the link. I see you looking, Jeremy. He's like, yeah, I want that link. Let me get that link.
We should put it in the podcast description.
Oh, totally. So that was it's kind of a cop out to have a tie in yours, because then it's like give me 6 spots, but it definitely gives me 6 spots. And then I would say that last spot, it's probably gonna go to
Drum roll.
Steve Aoki. It could go to so many DJs, right? Like you mentioned Ganja White Knight, another just amazing name. Like there's, Closey, LS Dream, like one of my absolute favorite. There's so many people who could take that spot. But seeing Steve Aoki on Decadence on day one, his visuals were insane. He like kills it. He brings enough, like he really DJs too. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna take a song, I'm gonna mix it with this other song, and it's all gonna be live, and it's all gonna be like changing your perspective on both of these songs. He's got a lot of great original music, and a DJ that just surprised me, right? Like his Spotify songs, he's got a lot of collabs. It's hard to really find the stuff that you're gonna hear at a festival through his Spotify, because a lot of it is his more like pop related stuff. But then you see him live and you're like,
Whoa.
what? Like he understands the assignment so well. He connects to the crowd, knows what he's gonna do, and it just hypnotizes you. I would say Rusko kind of has that like vibe too. I would put Rusko in a hard contention for 5th.
Did Steve Aoki throw the cake at Decadence? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't think so.
Really?
I know like
I
some of the
don't
festivals they weren't
remember.
allowing it.
Okay.
Maybe it's hard to remember. Like that's the night. Sean Summit, Steve Aoki to Subtronics. I will live
Yeah.
forever, over and over in my memory. It's just pure adrenaline. It's just like the best.
Maybe it's a
Well,
conversation when they're kind of going back to back, or they're headlining or co-headlining together, where like, hey man, like if you throw a cake, like you're definitely gonna go too hard for the rest of us and show us all up. So like no cake tonight. Cool, like we can just split it afterwards. Like, all right, fine. But no,
you know,
that's amazing.
I think some of it is just the experience, right? Like I know it wasn't allowed at EDC for some reasons and stuff, and it's mostly just because of the like amount of people, as I understand, right?
Yeah,
If he's at amphitheater, or if he's like, headlining a show where he's the concert lead, throw the cake. Nobody cares. See the end of the night, they'll go wash off in
right.
the parking lot. But if you have 150,000 people and somebody gets waylaid with a cake and they're on somebody's shoulders and gets knocked down in the middle of a crowd, and suddenly you have a medical emergency and you're like,
Right.
that was not how we wanted that to
Rave
go.
No,
Daddy.
Yes.
especially at right,
Saves girl
exactly.
from dying to
Especially at a
cake.
camp out, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
hey, now we're at a camp out for 2 more days, and now you're covered in cake, and there's no showers. Good luck.
Get some wet wipes. Good luck.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
uh,
yes.
you know, I gotta say though, like, it's not like he's throwing that cake like 3, 4 feet. You gotta give the dude props. He got
Dude,
some aim.
Heat-seeking,
you're on the shotgun
laser
team.
focus aim.
Like with the cake.
Yeah.
Like,
Crazy precision.
And just the crazy things you'll see at festivals, right? DJs are insane. The communities are amazing. And like whether it's people in full costume, I've seen people dressed as dinosaurs. I've seen people in blow-up costumes. I've seen aliens. I've seen entire squads of people dressed as clouds. Like you can it is the bizarre, amazing, closest you'll get to being on an alien world experience. And
Yeah.
everybody's really happy and positive for the most part.
Oh,
the
now you just
culture's on.
described happy hardcore.
See?
Nice. Well, thank you both for coming on and talking on RDY VIP with me today. It's been amazing to hang out with you both, and I look forward to seeing you both at coming festivals.
Absolutely. We will be around.
Definitely.
Jeremy's hard to miss, frankly. Like find the guy in the LED mask that is like seems to know everybody.
Believe it or not, it's actually pretty cool. Like I said, that mask, my best friend bought it as a birthday present. It was a birthday gift, and
That's
it
sick.
really like blew up into something. And till this day, I have yet to see anyone with that specific mask. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen a million and one masks out there. You know, right at all the shows around. And I've yet to see one that's like mine.
Yeah. Yours is
Awesome.
very
So,
unique. Well, it's
love
definitely
it.
on the giant list of swag eventually. Like, oh, yep, we definitely need Rave Daddy LED masks.
Just have the
Oh, I'm in those
capybara
as well.
lighting up on the side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, gosh, after Rawhide, I think I was, coughing up a little bit of dirt for a few days. And like, it was totally
Oh,
worth it.
Yeah, the
But
dust was real.
yeah, get that mask on.
yeah.
All right. Well, as is tradition, I'm going to give you both the opportunity to say roll the music in 3, 2, 1.
Roll the
Roll the
music.
music.
Nailed it.